When ministering to people in the church, you're going to come across some people that are just problem people. In the book Ministering to Problem People in the Church by Marshall Shelley, he describes or identifies many of the problem people as dragons. In chapter 2, Shelley describes the different types of species of dragons, from bird dogs, wet blankets, drill instructors, to fickle financiers. I could see many people in my church fitting the description in this chapter. What I would like to do is give you my 5 lessons I've gleaned from the book. The first lesson I learned was how to identify dragons in the church and why they have a problem with me or the church. Mr. Shelley tells us that the worst dragons may be in the beginning the pastor's strongest supporters. It would be important to know why someone who was with me in the beginning now is against me. Second thing I gleaned from the book is how do we deal with dragons or people with problems in the church? I know when dealing with people in the church, you have to be careful on how you approach them. Mr. Shelley says that dragons are best known for what comes out of their mouths. My goal in ministry would be not to allow a situation to get into a verbal assault where we're saying things that are hard to take back or leave a lasting impression. The Bible tells us that in Proverbs 12:18, some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise brings healing. Shelley says when attacked by a dragon, don't become one. An attack from a dragon, although it isn't fatal, could impact or inflict a wound that could take years to heal. So we have to be careful and we have to be watchful of what we say and how we say it. The third thing I learned was there are always going to be problem people in the church. So through it all, how do we keep people focused on the ministry at hand? Although we might have issues with people in the church, it is a good idea to stay focused on the task at hand, and that's the ministry. Because you have a few people in the church with issues, this doesn't mean that you should leave the rest of the church unfocused. My goal would be to keep a positive atmosphere in the church. Shelley mentions in the book, be slow to step into other people's disagreements. We have to keep our interests or our people interested in working in the ministry. Shelley notes in the book also that the most visible things are done outside the church wall. So people on the front lines don't have time to complain. They're too busy doing ministry. The fourth thing I learned was how do you confront a dragon or problem people in the church? What I've learned is the setting is important when confronting someone so they don't lose face. A private, unhurried conversation can be very effective. Timing and location is key when confronting a person. Finally, I learned when all else fails and there's no resolution or hope, still love them. Shelley makes a great point when he says dragons are like the poor. They will always be with us. So in other words, give that person in that situation some time. Patience is going to be key. Ministry is not a sprint, but a marathon. A marathon with issues, emotions, power struggles, and more. We have to be mindful that we once spit fire like dragons at one point or another. Give everyone the same consideration that you would want if you were battling issues like a dragon in your church. Continue to do what the Lord has commanded us to do. And that's to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Now, family, understand, you can do all these things while still ministering to people, problem people in your church. Be blessed and have a blessed day.